Hey y'all, happy Tuesday and welcome on into today's episode of Great Quarter Gals. I'm Kaylee Nix here with Grace Sharkey, ready to get your Tuesday before Thanksgiving episode started. Grace, great to see ya.
Yeah, happy to see you too. Look, I'm ready for Thanksgiving. I'm ready for a day of couch sitting, football watching, nap timing. I need one of those days right now for sure.
I need one of those days too. It's raining here in Chattanooga for the first time in about 8 weeks. And it is like one of those days where all I
Well,
wanted to do was spend it on the couch. And it's coming for Thanksgiving too. And so I'm ready for that break.
yeah, opposite here. It's just been rain and cloudy and miserable every single day of the past couple weeks, but no snow. And if we can just keep it that way for eternity, then life would be good.
You got to move out of Michigan for that one. I'm sorry to break it to you. But Grace, we're headed into this Thanksgiving holiday. Of course, we have a lot of drivers who are still out on the roads. And of course, they are working super, super hard away from their families this holiday to keep things running and deliver those meals for you guys, right? With the things that are in the grocery stores we wouldn't get unless we had the truck drivers to thank for that. So thank a trucker this week. Be grateful to them. I got to know, as we head into this holiday season, what are you most thankful for? What are you grateful for?
Whoa. Well, I will say truck drivers, just because, everyone, that 1 week in September, everyone wants to thank a driver, but you're right. Like, this is another reminder that we need to do that. Uh, being a part of this team, I'm just going to say that. We're all still running high, I think, off of the energy of F3. I've been talking with, people who attended an event and they absolutely loved it. I can tell you right now, there's at least 3 or 4 deals that I know are happening behind the scenes from meetings that happened at F3 as well. So, I'm thankful for this wonderful team and organization and what we've been able to do in this past couple of years and build. And so, you know what, Kaylee, I'm also thankful for my co-host, Kaylee Nix, and all the hard work that she puts into this company as well.
Well, I'm grateful for you. I'm also grateful for all the work that we've been doing here the last kind of few months, both on this show and on our other shows, and excited for the work that we're going to be doing headed into the new year. So stay tuned for lots of exciting things happening here at FreightWaves as we keep things rolling. And Grace, we've got a great guest today. We're going to take a little sneak peek at Anti Logistics and get to learn a little bit about a super strong women-owned company. But first, we got to talk about some news stories, both coming out of you and our title today, Fraud. It's legit everywhere. And I don't think it's been any secret that DAT has been in a little bit of hot water these last couple of weeks. We've seen the load board system go down 2, 3, 4 times. We, of course, saw the call out by Craig Fuller at the Future Freight Festival directly on the main stage. And we've also seen now a fake phishing site popping up that is directly targeting brokers and carriers. Talk to us a little bit about this, because this isn't just behind the scenes double brokering. This is straight up a legit fraud site.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to our good friend PBJ over at Freight Caviar for getting this image and tweeting this out. And actually, DAT thanked him as well in the comment on this situation too, because for them, they straight up quote, if you see something, say something. And that's how we're going to have to work together as a community, as an industry, to make sure this stuff gets squashed. So for everyone out there, last week, it was brought to our attention that there was a number of brokers that were receiving emails from an email case at onedatfreight.com. And if you know DAT and you use their load board, it's under their product DAT1. So it looks pretty legitimate. It sends them a fake carrier 411 freight guard report. Basically says that we have to set you up and you have a report and you need to answer to this in order to move forward. From there you go to the site and it's pretty spot on to identical of what DAT's login looks like. There's also a link if you're having issues logging in, which I think they're hoping that you do. And likely what they're doing is they're using the site to take your username and password. Now, theoretically, what they could do with that information, if they work this correctly, is they could log into DAT and start taking loads, double brokering, stealing freight as well, once it's on their back. And it's a number of different ways they can commit fraud from that point. And we did follow the IP address and it showed up in Russia. So I think that was a quick signs something's going wrong. And I will say DAT did comment on this article, and they left a number of different steps to take, including a link to their website that shows you what to do if you see any phishing attempts like this. Again, they were very, very strong, and clearly, if you see something, uh, of course, you can reach out to FreightWaves or Freight Caviar, but they would, of course, I think prefer you reach out to them directly so that they know what's happening too. And on top of that, they did say that they do have multi-factor authentication, so that should help if they were to obtain your user and password. That multi-factor should help avoid them logging into your account. But these guys are getting pretty sophisticated, so I would not be surprised if they've gotten around that at some point or figured out a way around that. And it sounds like from a couple of people that this site has been up for some time. It's not something that's just been up since even last week. So we got to watch out for this stuff out there, and hopefully people are training their employees to watch for this stuff too.
The scammers are getting craftier and craftier for sure. So be paying attention to that. Let's move on to your second story to talk about. I am also grateful for still having a job. Let's put that out there, because for some folks at Solera, they're not so lucky. And this is something that I saw that went viral on TikTok before I ever saw you write about it. And then you came and you covered it. And I actually thought when I saw the video, I was like, oh man, I feel like we should really talk about this on FreightWaves. An unfortunate group of employees at Solera finding out that they were being let go over Teams, and people were not thrilled about it.
Yeah, not thrilled at all. I will say, actually, just now looking at this article, it looks like a cease and desist was probably signed, and the TikTok is taken down. So I'll put up a copy of the TikTok here in a second. But for everyone that did see it, these stories are sad, but I like to comment on them, and I've been actually writing about Solera and OmniTrax and Dealer Socket and their equity Vista for some time now, because I really want their employees, future employees in particular, to know what the company culture has been like. And this was right down the path that they normally take. A little tone deaf in the case that if you are going to do a mass layoff over any type of Teams, Slack, whatever, Zoom, etc. Do your best to mute everyone so that this doesn't get out of hand like this one did. But everyone was airing their grievances, and in particular, you got to listen to an employee who was acquired by Solera, and quickly brought to attention the culture issues that they've seen at Solera since being acquired. That is very common in what Solera picks up, and it's holding companies as well. So again, it sounds like about 44 members. They pushed more people to Mexico as they did about 2 years back, maybe a year and a half now. They did the same exact thing. They were looking for new rounds of funding, can't find it, so they slash jobs and move them overseas or nearshore, whatever's easier and assumingly cheaper for them to do as well. Now, there are comments on it that I would highly suggest you check out, on people commenting on the state of the quality of products over the last couple of years, and they're not as friendly as you'd hope they'd be. So again, I've watched this company for quite some time. When I saw this TikTok, Justin actually sent it to me. I said, oh, here we go again. So I definitely wanted to cover it, and hopefully, people that are looking for jobs there or there now can kind of see this and take this as a sign that again, this is a common culture theme with the companies that they pick up.
And it sounds like there are now 44 people on their billing team who have a good resume and are looking for a new opportunity. If anybody watching this is maybe looking to hire a new employee for your billing team, reach out to some of those folks who might have unfortunately been a victim of those layoffs there at Solera. So, of course, you can find those articles from Grace up on FreightWaves.com. And I thank you for talking about and sharing those. Right now, let's go ahead and welcome in our guest for today. We mentioned a little bit about her at the very, very start, but we've got Tammy Gauthier joining us today. She is Vice President over at Andy Logistics. And when it comes to women-owned companies, Tammy, we love, of course, featuring them here on FreightWaves now. So we're super thrilled to have you guys here. Talk to us a little bit about Andy. Give us a little 101 about who you guys are, where you came from, and what you do.
Yeah, first I want to say thank you so much for having me on. I met both of you at the F3 and loved it. Even though we only passed each other a couple of times in the hall, what a great event. Looking forward to the one coming up in June. So, Andy, we were founded in 2001. 22 years ago, Mr. Ili Krisan, an immigrant from Romania who wanted a better life for his young family, came to Canada and transitioned from being a bus driver to embracing truck driving in North America. Named after his daughter Andrea, the company's humble beginnings started with one burgundy truck. Throughout the years, obviously, ups and downs. The trucking companies faced a lot of different challenges, notably downsizing during the 2008 recession. However, Andy never gave up, and they showed their resilience by navigating those challenges. By 2010, they began a growth trajectory that would lead them ultimately to opening up multiple terminals across Canada, Quebec, and Ontario, very close to the border, the launch of their warehouse and distribution centers, as well as the launch of their Tristan Fleet Maintenance Center. In 2021, a pivotal moment arrived as Andrea Krisan assumed the role of our president and CEO, making a generational transition and emphasizing the company's commitment to adaptability and innovation. This transition maintains the family legacy while incorporating fresh perspectives for continued growth. We're excited about the next stage in Andy's future. And yeah, we're just excited to be on this journey with Andrea.
I love that, especially the transition and into this wonderful female-run entity. And I can only imagine, especially right now with so many companies focused on their DEI initiatives, that being a supplier of logistics services is probably a big win for the company as well.
Oh, absolutely. I think the fact that being a woman-owned company and women-led, and the fact that we also have, when we take a look at our board, our executive, the leadership management, I mean, we're close to 1/3 women, and it's exciting, and it's nice to be able to offer that to those that we partner with.
I think that that's super important because, as we all know, you not only support DEI initiatives with the people that you do business within your own internal company, but it is those partnerships and who you selectively choose to work with that helps kind of foster that growth mentality and that growth environment, right? You're going to align yourself, if you have the ability to align yourself with like-minded businesses, like-minded leaders, that helps you press that initiative even further and do it in a way that is very authentic, I think, to that growth strategy. When you guys are looking at some of those selective partnerships, obviously helping out the customer comes first, right? But what other types of qualities, what other types of things are you looking for when you really find those partnerships that work really well with Andy?
Yeah, I think that some of the things that we definitely look for are, transparency. I mean, I know that it's one of the buzzwords in the industry right now, where we talk a lot about transparency, communication, but these really are important factors that we look for in partners, regardless of the partnership, whether it's carriers, whether it's banking relationships, whoever we're looking for. We're really looking for those that are going to give us that commitment, the transparency. There's nothing worse than partnering with a carrier that tells you they're going to be transparent and they're going to tell us the truth, and then we find out that our freight hasn't even left their dock. So I think really being able to build the relationships that are going to give us what we actually are providing to our customers, that's imperative. Communication, making sure that if there's something going on, and we're not able to get the load delivered on time, or it's important that our partners actually reach out to us and allow us to have that conversation with our customer to find either another solution, or at least for them to be prepared for what's coming. So definitely transparency, communication, just the overall relationship. It's critical to us.
Well, it sounds like another critical offering, and I'd say right now with supply chains moving back to North America, you guys are experts in the cross-border arena too. Can you tell us about that offering and how that's evolved over the last couple of years and the demand for that as well?
Yeah, so I think that if you look at Andy historically, I mean, just Mr. Chrisan, when he had started the company, some of the first customers he had was cross border, and for us, it's been an ever evolving it's been an evolution in our company where we've always been cross border, we've always been handling customers more so on the Canadian customers crossing over into the United States, allowing us to help them with their compliance and regulations, making sure that there was efficiency in their supply chain. But we're seeing it more so now where the US customers are looking to us to be that cross-border expert for them. I think that this is something that's going to be long-term. I think that we're going to be able to build on this. We're comfortable in the cross-border. It's where we feel most comfortable, and certainly feel that we have that knowledge and expertise.
I think that it's super imperative, especially as we kind of look at the future of cross-border trade across North America. We, of course, have seen the evolution from NAFTA into the USMCA agreement, and that's something that I think has been really pivotal, not just for U.S. to Canada, but also U.S. to Mexico, and has done a really good job of connecting customers across those three border landscapes, right? You see a lot of companies now who aren't just working Canada into the U.S. freight, they're also working Canada into the U.S. into Mexico and vice versa, going across all three countries of the continent. What other types of competitive advantages do you guys see in Andy? And is it something that you are directly using to compete with your other offers or the other people who are offering these same services in Canada? Or is it just something that sets you apart, is distinct to you guys in the space?
Yeah, great question, Katie. I think that the fact that we have such a young and dynamic leadership, our executive, when Andrea came on board, she really built a great executive team that's allowed us to really think about how can we set ourselves apart from the competition. And one of the things that I'm super proud of is the fact that we're open to new technologies. I think that it helps us to kind of get ahead of the curve. There's a lot of amazing technologies out there right now that we're exploring. If I may, like a simple tool that seems amazing, like Front, that could help us organize ourselves in our day-to-day emails with our customers and our carriers. This is something that could be great for us. I think the fact that they are forward thinking, and Andrea is a leader that ensures that we're always thinking outside of the box, making sure that not just us as leaders, but as our team evolves and grows, that we're bringing them into the conversation as well. I mean, we have a town hall tomorrow. Just spur of the moment, and nothing planned too much, but just to have a conversation, talk a little bit about what's going on in the industry and how to get things going. I think that forward thinking approach helps us to be competitive. It allows us to offer more services. Something that when Andy started, they were purely a trucking company, and then they pivoted and they found some different ways to bring in some of the resources that they had. They opened up their own maintenance centers where now Andy Trucking is not the primary customer, but we offer that service to other small fleets. I think the warehousing and distribution allows us to offer more to our customer, and the fact that we have the brokerage arm, I think that allows us to add additional capacity to our clients when maybe our trucks don't run those lanes, but making sure that we provide that cross service to the customers. I think that's imperative. Yeah.
And I want to touch on the relationship building, and even and more so, not just with your carrier's customers, but even sounds like you've done a lot to build up your own employees in house as well. How important is that to Andy in regards to, especially in this market today, building that relationship so that you can have these honest conversations with both your carriers and customers and employees as well of where the market is and where it's headed?
Yeah, I think that's a really great question, Grace. So one of the things that I think Andy prides themselves in is the fact that we've been able to bring on and retain some great talent. Whether it be in our Canadian office, we've got also staff in the United States who are helping us on the sales and also on the carrier side of things. We also have, an amazing team that work out of our Romanian office. This is, it comes from the grassroots of our company. These guys are probably the backbone of our company when it comes to, billing and operations. I have someone on my team who's extraordinary. I have to say I stole him from the trucking side. And they bring such a valuable skill set to the team. I think that one of the things that we look for in employees is, are these individuals coming on board just to do, the everyday tasks, or are they coming to help us build the brand and build the company? And I have to say that for the most part, everyone that I work with has the mindset of growth. They want to come on, they believe in the brand, they love the Andy logo, they love seeing those Andy trucks rolling throughout North America. And they're quite proud when they hear a success story. But I definitely think that one of the things that we do well is we bring our employees into the conversation early. And I'll give you an example. One of the things that we do when we're onboarding a customer is, and my background is in HR and marketing, and one of the things that we do is, we onboard our customers the same way we would have onboarded an employee in our company. We bring everyone that needs to be involved. We bring in anyone that needs to be part of the success of that employee in at the early stages. And make sure that we set up a proper plan for that person. We give them the objectives, the targets, but also we give them a sense of what they're going to be working towards, not just their own KPIs, but the company's KPIs. What is the company looking to do? Are we looking to grow? Are we looking to, maintain? Are we looking to take on more market share? Whatever it may be, we have to start talking to our employees about this. And I think that Andy does a really good job.
So Tammy, we've got about a minute and a half left on our show today, and I want to finish this off talking about what the future looks like. Obviously, Andrea taking over the CEO helm has continued the family legacy of Andy, but when she looks to the future, what does that look like from her goals or the perspective of where the company goes from here?
Ooh, big question. And I wish that Andrew was on with you guys. Certainly someone you want to have a chat with down the road. But I think Andrea is extremely ambitious. She's young. She's someone who leads with passion and guides us to feel uncomfortable. But even for me, having these interviews, it's not something that I was accustomed to in my previous positions, but pushed me to be uncomfortable, like getting us to be uncomfortable in the situations where we're not used to. I think her goal is to grow Andy, where we're going to see our trucks on all of the major highways and interstates all over North America. We see our trucks a lot in Canada. You can see them in any province or city across Canada. We can certainly see them in certain parts of the U.S., but our goal is really to just build our brand and our image so that more people know who we are, especially in the United States.
Well, Tammy, thank you
I will
so much.
say that I think say you did a great job. So if this is out of your comfort zone, you fooled me. Like,
Thank you.
Absolutely, you killed it. Thank you so much for joining us, and we are super excited to see what Andy is going to do next. And you're so right. We would love to have Andrea on the show. So if you can put in a good word for us, go ahead and do that, Tammy. Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. Happy Thanksgiving, ladies.
Happy Thanksgiving
thank you.
to
Have a
you
good day.
as well. Grace, that does it for us here on this pre-Thanksgiving episode of Great Quarter Gals. But as always, we've got lots more content coming up through the week, and you can catch us every Tuesday. Where can the people find you, Grace?
You can find me here on FreightWaves Now on Mondays, on the Stockout on Mondays, and you can also find me Monday through Friday from 5 to 7 on Sirius XM's Road Dog Trucking Channel. We've got a fun Black Friday episode with me, Thomas, and Mary, where we talk about our shopping habits and our gift-giving abilities. So we will be still on throughout the week, even throughout the holiday.
There you go. Well, thank you guys for joining us today. Have a very safe holiday. Thank a truck driver, and we'll see you guys next week.
1, 2,